It has been said time and again that human beings are social creatures and that we thrive best in the company of others, that relationships play a vital role in our well-being, our mental and physical health. That is true for most people, and while many of us enjoy the company of people, some people thrive most when they are alone, away from the company of others, away from groups, just alone. This could be due to our different personality traits. For example, extroverts do well when they're surrounded with their friends and other people generally, while introverts do well in solitude where they find the flow of their energy superb. In the current individualistic society, we see many people suffering from loneliness, which has been a major contributor to mental health issues like depression and anxiety. This is majorly attributed by the fact that we are not using our alone time constructively. Rather, we use it to compare ourselves with others on social media, making us feel alone and back in life. So we find alone time a hectic punishment. Thus, in order to be alone and get most out of it, we should appreciate this as a time to reflect on our lives and an opportunity to improve ourselves. Being alone comes in many forms, from hermits who spend majority of their life alone, to normal people who just like finding their alone time, where they go away from the community to find space for reflection and meditation. So in order to strike a balance with how we use our alone time, we should try some of the things I'm going to mention here. 1. Be your own best host and friend. Imagine hosting a party or just friends who have come to check up on you. How do you treat such an occasion? How do you prepare their meals? How would you serve them? How would you talk to them? When we are mean and unwelcoming to our guests, they find it repulsive to stay around us. The same applies to ourselves. If you're continuously mean to ourselves, telling ourselves negative things, we will detest spending time alone. If you are lonely when you are alone, you are in bad company. The simplest way we can be nice to ourselves is talk in positive light about ourselves. Prepare a nice meal for yourself and eat it in a quiet place or watching your favorite show. You can prepare a warm bath and put in essential oils and just indulge in the peace therein. Basically, romanticize your time alone, and it will be a delight to spend time alone. 2. We should realize that loneliness is just a perception. A Chinese Buddhist monk who went to a solitary retreat recounted his stay, saying that he did not feel alone at all. He said, "When I was alone in solitary retreat, I knew I was together with all sentient beings in innumerable worlds. Even though I seemed to be alone in a small enclosed room, actually I was in company with many ants who found their way inside." From this example, we get to see that loneliness is indeed a perception. When we choose to interpret a certain situation as lonely, then it becomes lonely even if we are not alone. Many people actually feel lonely even when they're surrounded by friends and family because they choose to be alone. This is something that Epictetus the Stoic also said, that men are disturbed not by things, but by the principles and notions they form concerning things. 3. Chase your dreams. Being around people sure is fun, and it brings reprieve from all our sadness. It is a simple pleasure, and most of us use it as a tool to forget our misery. But with people comes a group mentality, and we tend to do the same things as everyone else. Staying away from the herd, though, gives us a different perspective of life through introspection. It also gives us the ability to do what we crave to do, to pursue without other people weighing in and possibly destroying our love for a certain passion. When you are creating something in solitude, you will begin to embrace your time alone, and you'll less likely develop negative habits, and you'll less likely feel lonely. It is therefore no secret that spending time alone, if used well, can be of great value. Buddha himself had to isolate from the society to get enlightened. Now, the following are the reasons why you are better off spending time alone. First of all, it is a chance of letting go of fixed views and group mentality. When we associate with people, it is so easy to get caught up in certain ideologies and states. We have even seen from history that once someone accepts a group mentality, it is so hard to take them away from it. This can also relate to religion, where it is so hard to get one to change their mind if that is what religion they have been taught since childhood, and if they have accepted it fully. When one accepts a certain system, it is almost impossible for them to open up to new ideas or points of views. An example is joining a cult or just taking in information from certain media streams. The more we tolerate or appreciate certain kinds of information, the more we shape our perspective according to them. By continuous exposure to opinions similar to those that we already have, while ignoring those that aren't in line with our own views, our existing views are deeply engrossed in our minds, and it is hard to walk away from them. Solitude, on the other hand, will allow us to separate our views and ourselves from such mass ideologies as well as the media. Taking time alone can actually prove beneficial because we now will take time to evaluate whether the information we have been taking in aligns with our experiences or beliefs. We can reflect on the advantages and disadvantages of staying in a certain group, the usefulness or destructiveness of certain information, and we can choose to make sound choices based on our morality and perspective, other than being influenced by others. When we spend time alone, we open ourselves up to alternative views, new ideas, and we can transform the way we view our world. Second, it is an opportunity to become self-sufficient and accomplish our goals. As we have seen, it is important for us to have connection to other people. Some of us find it easy to stay alone, while for others, this can be a damnation. Some people feel so lonely when they spend even a little time alone with no one to talk to. Others cannot even function without people. But as we have seen in our modern world, it is not a must to stay around people in order to survive. Take an example of the coronavirus pandemic. We were all forced at some point in time to isolate and stay in our homes, working from home and whatnot. In such an instance, we had to figure out a way to spend the time we had alone well, to our advantage. It is useful to consider how much social interaction and social connection is needed to actually survive. It is actually very minimal, considering that nowadays, we don't even have to talk to people to get food or groceries at our homes. We just make an order online and everything is delivered without even interacting. Just take a moment to think about it. How many times do we hang out with people just because we like them and not out of the feeling that we are alone? If you have thought and then realized that you spend time with others just to avoid being alone, then that is an unreliable source of connectedness. Thus, it is not solitude that is the problem, but how we think about it. By embracing solitude, we can thus appreciate the time we have alone and use it for self-transformation, as we will not feel so alone after all. We can use the time to pursue what we love without feeling the need to be around others. With new adventures by our side, we will thus learn to fulfill ourselves without need for others to satisfy our lonely souls. He who sits alone, sleeps alone, and walks alone, who is strenuous and subdues himself, will find delight in the solitude of the forest. Buddha. Third, there is freedom. There is a sense of freedom that comes with being alone. The freedom to do what you want without having to involve other people, without justification, discussion, or compromise. A significant element of aloneness is the pursuit of meaning. Albert Camus, the French philosopher, believed that the universe has no meaning, and while it is futile to find the meaning in the world, it is actually good to create meaning ourselves. Society, religion, and various structures around us usually try to impose meaning onto us, including the idea that relationships and spending time with people for a big part of our lives provide meaning to our lives. According to Camus, it is absurd to think that some things in life are inherently meaningful while others are not. Thus, being with people and enjoying the group mentality that society has provided isn't intrinsically meaningful. It attributes only to the meaning that we give whatever we do. People who choose to be alone develop a greater sense of autonomy over time than people who stick to groups. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I have been your host, Mobisa. Please subscribe to get more videos and also to support this channel. Till next time. Bye.